Chorus was one of the biggest launches of December, but only one platform offered it to subscribers for free. Bloomberg broke a leak that PlayStation is set to completely overhaul its subscription model. What does this mean for Amazon Luna and PS Now? Find out after this. Hello and welcome to Cloudburst, the next generation in cloud gaming discussion shows. I'm Rokk, and if you are interested in cloud gaming and intelligent conversation, this show is for you. Each week we tackle one big cloud gaming question, no holds barred, and no cloud gaming platform left unturned. As always, our panel comprises 5 highly respected content creators, each renowned for deep insight, wide knowledge, and a long list of achievements. Now, before we begin, let's say hello to today's cloud-bursting panel, Clive, Ray, Lloyd, Jack, and our special guest for today, Seb, aka Dr. Spaceman, sitting in for Leo, who will be back for our final episode next week. So say hello, Seb, how are you?
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's always great to be here. I'm really well. How about yourself, man?
I'm tickety-boo, as they say in certain parts of this country. It's great to have you on again, and thank you so much for joining us for our penultimate episode. Ray, always an absolute pleasure to welcome you to Cloudburst, my friend. How's your week been?
It's been awesome, just playing games and just relaxing. So, yeah, it's been great. Thank you,
man. And of course, Clive, my UK cohort. How's your week been, my friend?
Yeah, it's been good. Been trying out quite a few games this week, so there's been a lot to choose from. So I've been dipping into quite a few things. So it's been good.
Keeping you busy, that's the important thing. And Jack with a most beautiful hat, which actually is representative of old school Father Christmas, not this Coca-Cola derivative that we had introduced back in the 1920s. How are you, my friend? How's your week been?
I'm great. It's been a good week. We're getting ready to do like a cookie decorating or holiday cookie decorating party. That's why I got my hat on.
Don't mention parties in the UK. It's not the thing to talk about right now. We'll talk about this afterwards. And Lloyd, great to see you, my friend. How's the snow?
It is cold. Actually, it hasn't been as cold as it was last week, so things are warming up. I'm a CFL fan, Canadian football. Mm-hmm. My team is in the final tomorrow, so all things are pointing towards tomorrow.
Tigers.
Nope. Blue Bombers.
Yeah, blue box.
Let's go Hamilton. Hamilton.
Yeah, it was a great musical. Right then, gentlemen, thank you so much. It's great to see you all. Thank you so much. So let's reveal today's question. And the question is, are Amazon Luna and PS Now set to explode? And of course, we're talking about the big time in cloud gaming competitive space, not literally. Let's start with our guest, Seb. Seb, let's have your 5 minutes thoughts on this question.
2 services that right now are still being looked at almost as an afterthought by those services. So Amazon is investing in Luna, but it's still in beta. It's still limited in the United States, but it looks like they're increasing the investment and their attention to the platform. A lot of great games coming to it, a lot of features unlocking, like the couch mode that came a while ago. They had a heavy presence over at the Game Awards, so they got a lot of interesting stuff going on. Hopefully it means that they open up to the world. As for PlayStation, we know for a while they've been working on their cloud platform, even though they haven't been promoting it a lot. And rumors are coming that they're about to bundle it up in their PlayStation Plus subscription and making it 3 tiers. And they have a lot of great games coming to it that you can only get on PlayStation Now for the cloud, like the classic Final Fantasy games that have been coming every month. They got The Last of Us 2, which was one of the greatest game to come out the last few years to come on the platform. A lot of very interesting stuff going on for PlayStation Now. and they've been working up to open new markets like in India for a while now. So they are moving a lot of peons on the board, and when they do release, it might be big.
Great stuff. Thank you so much for that. Ray, your thoughts, please.
Well, you know what? Let me start with Sony. You know, we have what we call is the GOATs, the greatest of all time. And one of the GOATs is Sony when it comes to gaming. And you can't count out the GOATs like Tom Brady, David Beckham, Messi, Jordan. Sony is the GOAT. And they're sitting back. When I worked for a company, we were number 2, they were number 1. We used to sit back and watch and see what they do. What's their next move? And then we would copy it. And so I think Sony's been sitting there and they've been watching this Game Pass, Xbox, and Xbox has been killing it. They've been killing it with the Game Pass. First day and date games in the cloud. I mean, they're killing it right now. And the cloud service, I know certain areas it doesn't work, but it works for me. And Sony's watching. And I think Sony is getting ready to make the move with their tier. I think everybody knows they have a lot of patents out there, a lot of technology. They're building their infrastructure as well. So they're getting ready to make their move. And so don't count out Sony. As far as Amazon, I was very happy to see Amazon during the awards. They kept showing off their game. They had new games that actually showed up in their in the store. They already have their channels, and I honestly think, and this is my opinion, but I think 2022 is going to be the year of Amazon. I think they're going to launch in Canada. I think they're going to launch in UK, and I think it's going to just explode. Chorus. I mean, I was getting ready to spend my $40, and then I saw a tweet that they tweeted out that Chorus was is on Luna, and I jumped on it. I thought that was huge. If they get really popular day and date games like that, hell yeah, they're going to explode. And Amazon got money. They have money. They got lots of money. So yeah, they're going to invest, and they're going to definitely explode in the coming future.
Excellent. Thank you, Ray. Clive.
Your mic.
Answer no. Sorry. The answer is no. The question being, is cloud gaming going to explode? Because I think I've said it before. It's a kind of inevitability and a slow burn, and I think it's one of those things where, and I've said before, people will just sort of wake up and it's everywhere, and then they'll kind of go, when did that happen? You know, it's a bit, and you know, we hark on about the other examples, but then that's all we have is like streaming, music streaming. There wasn't really necessarily a big explosion in either of them. The sort of things evolved and happened over time, and then when we look back, we go, well, we can hardly remember a time without it, sort of thing. And I think that's the same. The same will be true of gaming. So I think it will evolve not as not with a bang, but with a whimper, although whimper's a bit negative sounding. I just think it evolves slowly, but it is very important and can have major effects. I think what Sony does, for obvious reasons, you know, well, probably the biggest gaming name brand out there. We've seen Xbox aggressively tackle the cloud full on. We know this is an absolute priority for them. They've made some massive moves this year. It's very exciting. I think they are legitimizing and demonstrating the convenience of cloud to people who may not, readily, may not be, new tech founders, as it were. And slowly over time, we'll see the convenience of it. So we've been waiting to see what and when Sony will do about it. And so it'll be very interesting to see what they offer and how they approach it. They have to. They don't have a choice about it. It's inevitable. And I think it's really important. So I think it will help move things on a lot. It will accelerate the adoption of cloud gaming as the norm. Absolutely. Luna getting Chorus is good for Luna, but it's a tiny drop in the ocean, really, in terms of its significance when you're comparing, say, what Sony might do. I think it's interesting that they are getting titles like Chorus and Yakuza and stuff like that recently, so that it's a good title to get, and it's one of the first ones. Chorus is one of the first ones, which is a sort of a recent release. It's one of the complaints that Luna initially had. It's just like an old Blockbusters where you just find all the old titles there and nothing kind of new, other than the fact they have an Ubisoft channel. So it's interesting that they're starting to do that, but I just think we'll just see a bit more of that over 2022. The biggest, the most significant thing is what Sony does. Everybody will be watching, and I think they will just add to what xCloud are already doing in terms of legitimizing cloud gaming as the norm, or potentially as the future norm. So I don't think there'll be a big bang, but there'll be some big moves, and Sony are just beginning to park their tank on the field along with everybody else.
Great stuff. Some good thoughts there. Thank you, Clive. Jack, your time in the spotlight, my friend.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm totally with Clive. I don't think explode is sort of the right word for any kind of growth in this ecosystem. I think with cloud gaming as a whole, I think what's going to happen is just going to be slow and steady and continue to ramp up to the point where 5 years from now we just stop and ask, wow, how did we get to this point where everybody is now using a cloud gaming service? In regards to Sony and Amazon, I can definitely see big things from Sony. I think that they definitely already have this sort of user base, and they have kind of a captured audience that they can advertise to, and we'll probably very easily see the value of something like a Game Pass model. Amazon Luna, I'm maybe less sure what they have. What I can say is that I collect a lot of numbers about these different platforms, and right now Amazon Luna is as far behind Stadia and GeForce Now in terms of population in orders of magnitude as those two services are behind like PlayStation. And I don't think anything that they've done this week is gonna change that. If you look at the aftermath and the numbers of the gaming awards, they didn't really do anything for Amazon Luna's growth. Their biggest subreddit grew by like four people. Their blog grew by 0 followers. Their Twitter grew by maybe 100 to 150 followers, not much higher than normal. So I think if Amazon wants to get Luna in front of more people, the gaming awards have nothing to do with that. I think they need to drop it into Amazon Prime or something like that, which I could definitely see them doing, and I think that would make a huge huge impact.
Great, thank you for that, Jack. And finally, Lloyd.
Awesome. Well, yeah, similar to what Jack said, I don't see a huge explosion. Cloud gaming is kind of the slow and steady thing. It'll be like anytime that you've been at a party where someone's setting off fireworks or firecrackers and they light one and it just kind of goes, and it's like, oh, that was it? That's what cloud gaming is going to do over the next little bit. It's going to get a little bit bigger, but it's not going to be super exciting for a lot of people, except for us, the people that love cloud gaming. So the rumors that happened last week was PlayStation is going to be combining, or Sony, I guess, is going to be combining their PlayStation Now and their PlayStation Plus product into something to compete with Game Pass. I was listening to the DLC podcast, and Jeff Kanata called it PlayStation Plow, which I really hope that is their marketing, because they could partner with The Simpsons and have some really good television commercials. But the other rumor is that there's not going to be day one AAA games. It's just going to be sort of the back catalog thing. So they're pushing forward, but announcing to people, we've combined services. You can get PlayStation Now, but you can play these PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 games. I don't think is really going to move the needle as much as Xbox did when they said Game Pass is here. Oh yeah, by the way, you get Xbox Cloud Gaming with Game Pass. Oh, and did we say that Halo Infinite was available on day one? So until Sony does that on their side, I can't see people using PlayStation Now or whatever name it's going to turn into much more than what they're doing now, other than to just try it out and play an old game that they maybe like. And then on the other hand, you have Amazon. They seem to be making big moves, but you still don't hear a lot about them online. Twitter doesn't seem to be, there's not a lot of buzz, at least not from the people that don't already talk about Luna. It doesn't seem to be more people getting into it. And I've never used the service. I'm in Canada, so I can't use Amazon Luna, which is unfortunate. But once they start advertising it to people in other countries or bundling it in with Amazon Prime, I could see a lot of people jumping aboard just because it's a free service, especially if Amazon started selling their own branded televisions instead of just selling the Rokus and all the other ones before. So if the next time you buy an Amazon TV, it comes with a Luna controller by default. Excuse me. Sorry, tickle my throat. By default, it comes with a Luna controller. And if you have Amazon Prime, you immediately get access to these 5 children's games and these other ones for free. And then, hey, for $5, $6, $8 a month, whatever it turns into, you can add all these other games. I could see them start driving that wedge in and getting some more acceptance. But I think with regular hardcore gamers, similar to what Google faced when they came out into the streaming market, there's a lot of apprehension about these big media companies or big stores coming in and doing their own stuff, because they're like, hey, no, gaming is for gamers, and we like the gamers that are, or the game companies that are already out there. We gamers like those people. You new people scare us a little bit. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but I think PlayStation, if they maybe alter their plans and start doing day one on streaming, I could see a lot of people picking up PlayStation Now. It's a decent service. For me personally, it runs better than Microsoft's service does on my devices, and that all has to do with server positioning, I guess. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things go. I just don't think it's going to be a huge explosion.
Great stuff. Thank you, guys. Some brilliant thoughts and monologues there. So, guys, if it's not about to explode, when I say it, I mean Amazon Luna and PS Now, what do they need to catch up? Jack made a really interesting point about the kind of the space between the players right now. So what do Amazon Luna specifically need to do to catch up with the main players? Open forum.
Luna just needs to come out of beta, and go global, or at least come to Europe, because it's not the only people really going to talk about it in Europe are the cloud gaming nutters within our kind of community, all 20 of them or something. It out in the bigger world, especially in Europe, it's nothing. I just did a hashtag Luna just to see, because what Jack said about the number of tweets. Apparently it's a digital currency. So all I got is just reams and pages just telling me that this cryptocurrency is doing quite well, nearly $50 apparently, if I do hashtag Luna. So that's how relevant it is at the moment. And that sounds harsh, but that is the reality in the bigger world. And one could say also Stadia, like, not the same argument applies to a certain degree. Not many people have heard of Stadia within the gaming community, but probably more have heard of Stadia than they have of Luna, for whatever reasons, good and bad reasons. People have heard of it, if you're going to compare the two anecdotally. So I think for Luna, definitely, if Amazon, as people have mentioned here, if Amazon bundle it with Prime or roll it out globally, that's when it's about normalizing it really, and making it available to as many people as possible, and that's the key. You know, Amazon have the advantage that they have, you know, in the same way that Google do, that they have their Fire Sticks and their TVs that can play Amazon and stuff. So they just need to get them on those devices in the same way that Stadia is, you know, rolled out on the LG TV. You know, the LG app rolled out this week. You know, that's suddenly, you know, several million devices where you don't need to buy a dongle or anything. You know, you just need a controller, and suddenly Stadia is available. And you know, we saw it on that boxing in that photograph that was tweeted. I think it was in Tesco's or something, but on the side of a Sharp TV, it said, you know, Stadia, because it ran Google TV. It said on the outside of the box. And what's that might not mean a lot to anybody right now who's maybe buying that, you know, outside our world. Over time, it will. So I think it's, you know, the reason Amazon are moving into it is because they've got, you know, the Fire Sticks and Amazon Prime and stuff like that. So they've got the platform in which to roll it out to a greater number of people. So that's what they've got to do. And then, as I say, with Sony, it's like the biggest gaming brand in the world. We know, so that's one fact, right? Second fact, cloud gaming is inevitability. So what is the biggest gaming brand in the world going to do? We're waiting for them to sort of come out, park their tank on the lawn along with everybody else. Xbox is out there. They've, as I said before, they've absolutely hammered out. I mean, day and date Halo. You know, I'd sort of stopped playing xCloud because it never really worked very well. But as soon as Forza came out, I gave it a go, loved it. Suddenly, and the fact that you could stream from your console as well, that moment to me, because that sits under the TV and that's where I play. So suddenly the pieces fell into place for me. Not only did you have massive games like Forza and Halo that stream, the boxes under your TV.
So Halo Infinite Campaign isn't actually part of Xbox Cloud Gaming, interestingly enough.
All right.
The multiplayer is, yeah.
Multiplayer.
But for whatever reason, they've decided. Lloyd,
the campaign is on the cloud. The campaign is on the cloud.
I went there and it said it wasn't playable on cloud.
I thought it was. I thought that was.
I'm streaming it. I'm streaming it tomorrow.
Okay, I take it back.
I played the campaign on the cloud.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't, because that's whole xCloud, you know, Xbox's strategy, isn't it?
I played the campaign and it played excellent. It looked excellent. It was amazing. Yes, even Mr. Chaos has played it as well. It looks great, and that's what I'm trying to say is. Not right now, guys. Not right now at 21. And I agree with my fellow mates on the panel. It's not gonna. There's different of explosions, folks. It's not like like right now, but it's building up, and that's what Xbox did.
Yeah.
And they did a hell of a job with marketing, and they did a hell of a job with advertising. That's the main thing, is marketing the cloud and talking about the features and everything that you're going to get. But if Sony, like I said, if Sony does what Xbox does, and they do have the games, and they got some gems, folks, and if they add features to these great games that Sony has won a lot of awards. They have beautiful games. It's coming, folks. I'm telling you, Sony's coming. As far as Amazon, I will agree. Damn it, they need. I mean, once they got to get out in the country. They got to get out in the country. But I do believe in the power of Amazon marketing.
Yeah,
and Prime Game. I do believe.
Ray, you and Jack obviously are in the States, where Luna currently only resides. Do you see much in the way of direct marketing taking place within the United States for Amazon Luna?
It has been on the front page of Amazon, probably maybe to selective users. Like, I definitely see it on the front page of Amazon, but probably it knows that I'm in the space. And it is still in beta, but it's essentially available to anybody who wants to try. There's no barrier to entry at this point.
They send me email alerts every time I get in my email. They're always sending me stuff in my email, and I'll click on Prime. Click on, hey, guess what? You get this with your Prime. They're sending me stuff about Discord. They're sending me stuff about Twitch. So, and I do click on it, and I do claim my Prime stuff. They're talking about these games had just been on there, and I'll click and I'll check out the games and stuff. But like I said, they got to get out in Canada. They got to get out in UK. They got to get out of the world, because nobody's really honestly not going to take them serious right now. But like I said, a lot of people didn't take xCloud serious when it was running at 720, and it was horrible, and nobody took them serious. Look how fast they changed that. Okay. Well, and they didn't do that. And it didn't take a long time, folks. I mean, they did it. They
did it in time to have for it to be running with the biggest games that they were releasing this year as well, which I thought, is absolutely key. It makes, that makes a difference when you're trying to convince people who are stuck with their old habits to, sort of change the way that they game. I think with cloud gaming, it's just about getting cloud gaming, giving people access to it, and that's what we're going to see. That's what we're going to see in 2022. People having access to it, whether it's through Sony, whatever they do, whether it's through xCloud, whether Luna rolls out to the rest of the world, Stadia, app being on more, TVs, the GeForce app, that predated the Stadia app on LG TVs by a couple of weeks or a few weeks, whatever. Just getting it out there is what's going to kind of be the big thing of 2022. And what will also be interesting is who else moves towards the cloud gaming sector. For instance, Samsung have announced, obviously, that they're going to enter the cloud gaming. Who, how, and what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, we don't know. But they've come out and said, we're looking at launching a cloud gaming to put on their TVs, because that's where people want their entertainment, on their TVs.
I will send that back.
Right. What's interesting, looking at the big players, looking at the big players coming into cloud gaming, like we've seen Amazon Luna, for example. Well, the current Amazon CEO, who was previously in charge of AWS, including the gaming division, and DJS, he's made a statement that in the close future, gaming will be one of the main business line for Amazon, that he's looking at gaming to be one of their main branch. So he's building up Luna, and he's putting a lot of funds behind it. And once it gets out of beta, there will be a lot of promoting for it. And they have the biggest cloud infrastructure in the world. Amazon, I think, is about 3 times the size of Google, and 50% bigger than Microsoft Azure. They have a huge market. They have plenty of funds behind them. As for Sony, who currently is using Azure for broadcasting their cloud gaming, they have their own technology. That's why it runs so well. PlayStation now is, in my experience, at the top for cloud gaming connection. Like, it streams extremely well. You get good quality. They also made some stuff for local upscaling. So they're getting the technology there. It works really well. And Jim Ryan, not too long, did an interview where he talked about the fact that he wants PlayStation to reach much more user. No matter the amount of console they sell, they always top at about 40 million active users. So that's the amount of people that don't just have the console, but they keep an active subscription. They keep buying games. They play. It tops at about 40 million. He wants to get hundreds of millions of users. And he said that one of the ways that they were going to do that is getting PC players. But also he made reference of game streaming is a very interesting venue, especially if you're looking at markets like India. PlayStation Now was supposed to release in India in November 2020. But of course, something happened we all know about that kind of pushed back those plans. But it's coming in the future. And if you look at the Indian market, most people over there use smartphones, and they released not too long ago a patent for a controller that looks exactly like a, don't have it around right now, but a DualShock 4, so a PlayStation 4 controller, but that you can snap a smartphone in. So they are looking at expanding it and doing a lot of very interesting stuff with PlayStation Now in the future, which will be now bundled part of PlayStation Plus. So they're about to go big. And also, just wanted to add, it's last year or a few months ago, there was a investors meeting where Sony actually said they want to get across all their subscriptions, like for movies, music, and everything. Their objective is to reach 1 billion subscribers. And they said PlayStation will be a major part of those numbers. So they got big plan for PlayStation, including for subscription in the cloud.
Yeah, I think all the companies are moving into cloud for that exact reason. As you say, that the traditional console gaming, it's sort of topped out. You know, every 5 years you bring a new console. They don't really sell necessarily that much more than the previous generation. It's sort of topped out, and any business wants to go, well, where's our growth? Where's our real aggressive growth? And I think, you know, not just gaming companies, but people have sort of said, you know, the next big thing is, you know, cloud gaming in whatever form. And that's why they're all positioning right now. And so that, I think, you know, the CEO of Sony's comments are very similar to, you know, Xbox's comments and you know, Phil Spencer's comments, Phil Harrison's comments, all about we are going after the next 1 billion gamers or whatever it is. You know, that's because they all need growth, and this cloud gaming is sort of the first, for a long time, the first opportunity to achieve significant growth on what is effectively quite a stagnant business. There's a lot of rinse and repeat. That's not to say it's not successful, but you know, a successful company doesn't stay still. They want to keep growing and, you know, building their net worth, don't they?
When I was playing the Halo Infinite campaign, I got goosebumps looking at the screen and hearing the oh and listening in my ear. I could not believe I'm actually playing this game in the cloud. And my son is like, "Oh, did you download that?" No, I'm playing in the cloud. No, I'm playing in the cloud. And it and I honest to God, it looked amazing. It just blew me away. So if these companies can do this, I mean, if Xbox can do it, can you imagine if Sony pushes their games into the cloud and they have beautiful, I mean, I can't wait to see what the future is, but damn it, that game looked freaking amazing in the cloud.
100%.
That's one thing I kind of wanted to echo is that I think that maybe some of the traditional marketing you know, needs to change up a little bit for cloud gaming, because for cloud gaming I really feel like playing and feeling is believing at the end of the day. That's the marketing that works. You know, putting out a commercial, putting out you know, for a company like Amazon or Google trying to go after some of these entrenched gamers, they, you know, they're marketing to a group there that, you know, trying to market to a group there, I guess, of existing gamers is like trying to market to this like entrenched group of people who really just don't want your thing to work. And so what they really need to do is get it into people's hands so that they can feel it and believe it, and then go after like a new base.
Yeah.
One of the big. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to jump real quick. The biggest growth market for cloud gaming in the immediate future would be Sony doing it right, because they've been treating PlayStation Now as a second-class citizen, not really talking about it. Oh, it's here, by the way. Oh, you need this weird dongle for your controller, and that's how I started out. I had to buy a PlayStation 3 controller and a dongle to connect to my PC, and that was the only way to play. And then it's like, oh, it's on consoles now. Oh, that's great. And slowly they've been moving it forward. But you have people that are devout PlayStation users, and you have the devout Xbox users, and they're like, I'm an Xbox user. Sony sucks. Ooh, cloud gaming. And if that happens for Sony, and it's like, ooh, Microsoft sucks, but cloud gaming, they're doing the same thing. That's going to grow the industry, and then maybe these Sony people that are Sony fanboys, it's like, oh, if I click this link on my PC, I could play Halo Infinite, the game that everybody's talking about and I talk trash about all the time online, but I secretly want to play. This is amazing. So I really think that's
Exactly.
going to do it. It's putting the technology in front of people's eyeballs and hands, saying this is a viable solution. Oh, I already have a console. I'm going to click this link. I'm going to play a different game, and it will be the same thing for Microsoft users and Stadia people. If you could go to your computer and you have 3 or 4 icons on your desktop. You have your Luna icon, your Stadia icon, your GeForce Now icon, your Xbox cloud streaming icon, and then all of a sudden you have your PlayStation Now icon, and you can choose a game on any of those. It's going to be amazing for the end users. Once people get out of the mindset that I'm only one, I support one, I wear blue, I'm dying with blue, I Sony forever. And once people start getting over that, they'll understand that they can have so many more amazing experiences online without having to buy hardware.
Imagine you had to spend 500 quid for a Disney Plus box, and 500 quid for an Amazon Prime box, and 500 quid for a Netflix box, right? You would have people going, Disney Plus sucks, I'm a Netflix man, because people have spent 500 quid on these boxes, right? But you don't, you have them all. You can
take 2 months of one service, change to another service if you want to save you money.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You go, so you can just chop and change, do what you exactly, but you've got the options, and that's new specifically to the console world.
Yes.
There are lucky people that, I've got Xbox and I've got my PlayStation 5 and I've got my Nintendo Switch. Well, most people in gaming, they make a decision, and they choose a box. And they've invested in that box, and that's where you get that tribalism, and it is a completely different mindset. Nobody says, my Netflix is better than your Disney Plus. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, because they're on the TV, they're there for you. You just click, and if something interesting comes up, you go, what's it on? Disney? Okay, I'll watch it on Disney Plus. Is that on Netflix? I'll watch that on Netflix. That's what you do.
I have Wreckfest on multiple platforms. I'm enjoying it more on Stadia. And that's the thing I like, is if there's a game on a certain platform and nobody to play with, or the features just suck on it, I can hop on another platform and enjoy it even better. So that's why I love I'm a multi diehard cloud gamer, and I love each and every one, each feature and what they bring. And that's the thing, I like choices, but I don't like $500, $600, $700, $300 just to get an extra hard drive so I can put more games on it. Those days are hell no. Click and play is my thing.
Seb, you had a point earlier.
I was going to say, what's interesting to consider as well is that right now most services are like, for example, xCloud, you can only get a subscription. You cannot buy your titles. PlayStation is the same. PlayStation Now, you can only get a subscription. Stadia, you got the purchase of the titles. Luna is only subscription. So most of the platform are only one. You only have GFN that allows you to subscribe to Ubisoft Plus. But then again, for the rest, it's the same can be said for Stadia. But for the rest, it's all games that you buy. But we know that Xbox is looking into including the purchases for xCloud. Phil Spencer has said so January this year, like almost a year ago, and they're working on it. And with PlayStation saying that they won't include the day one titles, day and date is telling me if they want their cloud platform to work, that it will most likely allow people to buy their games and play it in the cloud, because they want that to grow, to get more people from around the world. So it is most likely going to happen that they will allow the purchases to be played on a PlayStation cloud platform. So more and more platforms are giving the players the choice to either get a subscription or buy the titles. If you look at Luna, you can buy DLC for the games. There is a storefront there that's created and not yet used to buy your titles. Once they come out of beta, it is most likely, because the subscription is called Luna Plus, but you don't have a basic Luna subscription at the moment, which I believe is what will come with Amazon Prime, for example, will probably be that you'll be able to buy your games. and play them on the cloud in a high definition without having the Luna Plus extra subscription, and just have your games that you bought and be able to play them. So there's a lot to consider. That cloud is still taking shape right now. Cloud gaming, they're barely starting, and it's going to be an interesting future to see.
Lloyd, why do you think they're still limiting to the United States?
I don't know. I usually when a big company does a beta test, like for an iOS app or a PC multi-gamer online multiplayer thing, they usually launch in a smaller market. Amazon didn't launch in a small market; they launched in one of the biggest markets, and slowly built everything out. And maybe that's the most saturated country for their AWS locations. Maybe it was very limited to newer hardware. Maybe those are where the newest data centers are. Don't really know. I hope we find out as soon as they start launching worldwide. It's like, yeah, we had to upgrade all of our equipment. Now we have super fast servers over here and over there. It's not really, Amazon doesn't really pump their own tires that much for that. So I don't know if we'll get that explanation. But if I had to guess, I probably have to be something along those lines. But it is really weird. You'd think you'd launch a new product with a small subset of games saying, hey, this is a beta, come check it out. And then you more than double those amount of games that are available, and you haven't added any more people that can come in and play it. It's still the same country. It is really odd, but obviously there's a method to their madness. Hopefully the new year, or hopefully maybe this is a Christmas gift that you can unwrap from Amazon as you get to play cloud gaming in other countries, because that would be really great.
Just want to add, I did get to play it over here in Canada, but I was only able to do the trial. And when it came time to renew for the subscription, it wouldn't take my credit card because it's a Canadian credit card. But it did work really well here in Canada, over in Atlantic Canada. So I don't think it's basically infrastructure limitation.
You would have been using just US servers if you're using a US account. So I use US servers on GFN all the time, and it's pretty good. Like even with like a 60 millisecond ping to the server, it's pretty good. That's why it's even more surprising to me that they limited it to one location.
Yeah, it's, at least for Canada, it's not a infrastructure problem. I think they want to contain it, at least for legal reasons, because if you want to market it on the international, you need certain legal procedures to go through, or else you can find yourself in legal problems. So I think that's the main reason why they haven't yet expanded outside of the United States. Same reason as why Canada, we don't get Hulu or many of those subscription services. It's only limited in the United States because that's where they have the rights to broadcast.
What if they were getting ready to come out, but then they decided that, you know what, we need to go back to the drawing board and change something and make it better? Did you ever think about that? Maybe they were getting ready to come out and then something just, better technology or something, they found something better and they said, you know what, let's scrap it, let's do something bigger and better. I don't know. I'm just thinking that
they might have anticipated a faster cloud gaming adoption than what is happening.
Clive, sorry, Jack.
Sorry, yeah, maybe I'll just jump in here for a second. The thing that I have always said that Luna needs to do to improve is to stop releasing these completely unplatformed versions of games. They actually need some kind of platform features like achievements, like friends lists that come in the form of an SDK for games to game developers to integrate. And so if they do end up going back to the drawing board, that's the thing that would get me back and interested in Luna, because I'm the type of guy who likes to track everything I do in my life. And if there's no achievements, I'm just not interested in using it.
No, that's fair. Clive, I just wanted to touch on the point there that Seb made about licensing, because that's kind of very much your bag. Do you think that there are IP/copyright reasons why, or licensing reasons why they're not breaking out of the States right now?
Well, I think they wouldn't. I'm not sure they would necessarily. It would be odd if they went into it without the option to extend the licenses worldwide. So they may have initially said we will acquire the license, the cloud gaming license or whatever it is, for North America, excluding Canada. But that would seem odd if you've got an eye on the future, because you don't want to have to go back and say, well, actually, now we want the rest of the world, without having already agreed that uplift, if there was an uplift, because you're basically in a bad negotiating position. So it could be, but I would imagine they've already secured those rights, or at least an option on those rights at an agreed price or royalty payment or whatever it is, because otherwise when they come to roll out, they're in trouble, and they'll be ringing the equivalent of my department going, oh, we need to get these rights, can we have them by January? And I'll be going, you're having a laugh, aren't you? That ain't happening. Yeah, so I think they probably would have got them. They've got them already, because otherwise, yeah, they would just hamstring themselves a bit.
And I'd have to assume that most studios are prepared for the inevitability of territorial licensing via cloud streaming. In any case,
I would imagine they would have Stadia as well, like Google. They would take the global rights. Already. Yeah, because you just want to be in that position where you just roll out when you can.
And Jack makes a really good point with the Luna offering. There are still some fairly significant omissions in terms of what you can and can't do. Am I right in saying, Ray, that there are still issues with parties and chat and multiplayer?
Well, when I'm playing Siege, I play with a lot of PC guys and stuff like that, but there is a lot of guys that are trophy and achievement guys that want to, their data recorded, or, they want their features. So I can totally understand that, seeing somebody want that.
I think the interesting thing about
Luna,
the interesting thing about Siege is that you're using, I think, all of the Ubisoft infrastructure. There's actually no Luna infrastructure there. It's kind of like a white label in that sense. There's no Luna to the Ubisoft Plus channel on Luna. Like if we just put the links on an Ubisoft page, you would never know that Luna was behind it, because you're doing everything through Ubisoft Connect.
Yeah, Luna is almost more similar to GFN right now in that sense, as for not really being a platform, but more of a device to play your PC games on. So
Amazon have taken the Amazon Basics approach. That's the way I look at it in simple terms. You know what I mean? No, they've like the least possible path to maximum profit. You know what I mean? Without, at least with GeForce now, they're going, look, we're all about graphics cards. And demonstrate. So in a way, it's a shop front, ultimately, for their graphics cards. They want to really show off the power there. They want to be in the cloud. That's really important, because it's another way of sort of getting people to rent graphics cards. They want to show off the graphics cards. So they want to sort of offer the premium cloud gaming PC type experience, GeForce. That makes sense. With Google Stadia, they're building a very specific unlike anybody else. They are building a very specific thing, a gaming platform, not adapting existing. That this is unique and special. So that's what sets them apart. Whereas Amazon, it may they may change it, but for the beta, I always kind of look at it in a way as a kind of the Amazon Basics approach. They look at what's selling or where the market is and go, we can do a pretty good job, but we'll just stick our label on it and quickly, do a cheaper version of that HDMI cable. And that's the sort of the way I look at it.
So on this, you have to consider, though, if you look at xCloud and PlayStation on both fronts, they have confirmed that they are working on cloud exclusive games. Over at Xbox, they want cloud native games that will only be possible in the cloud. This is coming. Yeah. They actually got someone over that switched over from Stadia. That one there, I don't remember the name. I think Kim Swift but they are working on games that will only be possible cloud native games. And PlayStation right now, they have Haven, which is being developed by Jade Raymond. And in an interview she basically explained that what they took is they what they made is they took what they were working on over at SG&E and transferred it in their own studio and signed a contract with PlayStation. Their game is going to be over 1 terabyte in size. It cannot fit on a console, and they've implemented many cloud native features that will be in that game, which they're currently working on, will come out in a few years. So the cloud native experience is going mainstream in the future.
I think Spaceman makes a great point. I mean, I think one of the things I really like about xCloud and the potential of a PSN service is that those things are fully baked. It's not just like slapping a web streaming service on top of kind of generic PC game or something. Like, they have fully baked platforms ready to go, and that could be integrated into the cloud pretty quickly.
Brilliant. Gentlemen, we are about to get to the final 5 minutes, so we're going to have a quick run around for everybody's final thoughts. I think we've set up as well brilliantly for next week's final Cloudburst, where we talk about the future of cloud gaming. And I think what you were just saying there, Seb, about the scale of games, particularly looking this week, for instance, at the Matrix demo on consoles, which quite frankly couldn't exist as a full game right now with the amount of hard drive space, but cloud could really make that sing. So I'm looking forward to that discussion. Please do join us next Saturday, same time. So starting with you, Seb, final thoughts on today's question, please.
I think right now things are lining up for cloud gaming to start climbing up to become mainstream. It's not going to happen like within 2 years. It will still be a minor part niche of the market. But the fact that PlayStation is investing more in it, that Xbox is really strongly in it, and that Amazon is making big investments into this, and all the players are getting in, it's gonna start like a rolling ball of snow in a mountain. It's just gonna become eventually an avalanche. Everyone will adopt it once everything is in it, and it becomes more and more proven that it is not only viable, but it becomes a superior experience. With hardware upscaling that is available now for cloud gaming, we see it with GFN. PlayStation started using it with PlayStation Now. You get a stream and you upscale it to better quality. It is incredible what's being done right now with cloud gaming, and adoption is just going to go up from now on.
Awesome. Thank you, Ray.
The days of begging mommy and daddy to buy a $500 console is pretty soon going to be obsolete. Cloud gaming is the future. The features, I mean, put blades in the clouds and make beautiful games. Innovation. This is what gaming is all about, and cloud is the future, and it's innovating so many features and so many just wonderful experiences. So I can't wait to see the future of cloud gaming.
Yeah.
And
thank you, Lloyd.
Oh, I wasn't ready. Yes,
I know. I'll call you out.
Gaming is a niche that not everybody partakes in. It's a niche that is bigger than the movie industry and the music industry combined, but it's still a niche. Not everybody plays games. Cloud gaming is going to give more people the ability to play a game without even realizing that they're actively involved in playing video games, the thing that they don't want to do, by baking it into tablets, phones, TVs, devices that people are already buying, ship them with a controller, make them easily playable with any controller. You're going to grow that industry. Cloud gaming is going to be huge, and it will probably 10 years, maybe. I like to say 5 years, but I think it's going to take a little bit longer. Replace the majority of gaming from people putting a disc into something and just having an image on their screen. It's going to take some time, but it's going to get there. And that's why you have all these companies investing. Amazon took the easiest approach. Hey, let's put a PC in the cloud because we already do that, and let's have you run games on it. But the double-edged sword of that of that decision is that, well, you don't have any cloud-specific features or platform-specific features. You're just running a game that was copied to a USB drive and plugged into a computer and uploaded to another computer, and they're playing it there. So Amazon's going to continue to iterate. Microsoft is doing amazing right now. Sony, I hope they do amazing, but Sony's also the company that likes to charge $10 for anything additional that to the disc that you buy. So they might screw it up. I hope not, because if you have Microsoft and Sony at the top of their game, it's going to be amazing. And then you have Stadia, which is going to be the only true cloud platform right now that is independent and on its own. I want to see how that grows over time. And then you look at all the other new players, GeForce Now renting out video cards, other players are going to be doing the same thing in the near future. It's going to be really interesting over the coming weeks, months, and years as I don't know, a winner is crowned. But I hope it was said in the chat room, I hope a winner isn't crowned, because we all win if everybody is always competing.
Absolutely. Thank you. Jack, your final thoughts?
Well, so many good things have already been said by like Spaceman, Lloyd, and others that I'm not sure what exactly is left to say. But I just concur. I think cloud gaming is going to continue to grow as a whole. I definitely still see Amazon and Sony being big players. There's just no way that Sony, with everything that it kind of controls and owns, is not going to be a big player. And I think Amazon's infrastructure definitely puts it in a big place to have a role. And then exactly when it happens, I don't think it's going to be explosion. It's going to be this kind of slow burn, and then 5-10 years now, we just turn around and look and wow, and just kind of say, wow, how did we end up here where the majority of people are now in the cloud?
Great stuff. And Clive?
Yeah, I think the exciting thing, it really is we've seen how fast some of the tech has developed just in the last 18 months. You take xCloud particularly. The transformation from their original project xCloud to where they are now, in my experience anyway, is incredible. We've seen improvements in Stadia. Not that you see them, because there's slow iterations, and there's but they it has improved over time. And then there's an arms race going on, and that's only a good thing, because it works. Yeah, Stadia have proved that. xCloud now has proved that. For other people, GeForce Now, have proved that, and GeForce upgrading, recently. And then, as you say, with all the software upgrading that can happen, and in TVs, the difference that LG app makes because of all the processing that the TV is doing in the background. That's all good. I think that's all going to take another step up over the next couple of years, if not over the next year, as players come in and they have to sort of keep improving. And that's an arms race is good for all of us.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. Seb, we're going to just find out very quickly where people can find you and what you're doing this coming week.
Well, I'm a member of the podcast with Ray here at Cloud Nation TV. You can follow us. We're on both YouTube and Facebook. And also my own channel, Dr. Spaceman, and you can follow me. I've actually opened a new Twitter account at Dr. Spaceman Media.
It caught me out.
So you can follow me there. They're posting about cloud gaming and gaming in general, but I have a strong interest in the cloud gaming as a whole. Yeah, I stream every Sunday nights and once in a while during the week in the evenings when I can afford to. So that's about it.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Very welcome. Ray, what about your very good self?
Tonight on Ray3473 Twitch TV, I will be doing Stadia, Red Dead Redemption 2, The Bounty Boys, 10 p.m. Pacific time. And then tomorrow, we're having our finality show, Stadia Pro, myself and Jeff, Retro Rewind. It's going to be an amazing show. We're going to have amazing guests on there. And look for that at about 12 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow, 6 p.m. UK time, I think.
Yep. 8 p.m. Yeah. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Clive.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Clive Illenden down there. And I'll be on the Stadia Monday Night Chat on my YouTube channel, 10 p.m. UK times every Monday. And if you haven't already, don't forget to vote for your favorite Stadia release in 2021 as part of the Stadia Community Awards for 2021. Look out on Twitter, you'll see the forms out there to vote. So make sure you do that.
And that show's on New Year's Eve.
That is the plan. There will be a New Year's Eve show where we will reveal for various winners, etc., etc.
Great stuff. Looking forward to that. And Jack, you're also involved in the same, aren't you?
I am, yes. I don't know if we've chosen the exact time of day yet, but you might see me at 9 a.m. and I'll have have started drinking by by then. Yeah, so people can also find me on Twitter at Deslippe. Thanks for the logo there. And then I do some videos on the Stadia Dosage channel with that MM2K curates.
That's superb. They are too. Thank you very much for joining us today, as always. And finally, Lloyd.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm Dasme, Dasme. You can also check out nerdnest.tv for all the video content that we put up, mostly cloud gaming, but some other stuff there as well. And StadiaCast records tomorrow, every Sunday, except for the odd. I think we've missed 1 week or something, maybe 2. You can check that out over at nerdnest.tv.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. And very finally, I'll be here Tuesday with Ray and John and possibly Clive and Vet, and we'll be doing the Rokk review. Next Saturday will be, as I've said, our very final Cloudburst of this season. So please do come and join that one. And tomorrow I'm with Ray and I think Jack as well, and a whole host of others on
Sunny.
And Sunny, yes, Sunny as well. Yeah, on Retro Rewind. So that's going to be a great show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, as always, for your kind comments in the chat. We've really enjoyed having you. And as always, the most important thing is keep playing and keep your head in the clouds.